I noticed that it's been a fair few months since I gave you guys an update on my Vanguard portfolio, so that's exactly what I'm going to do today. Now, those of you who have been around a while on this channel will know that my Vanguard ISA is not my current active ISA. It is my ISA that I opened in 2019-2020. I invested into that ISA for about a year or so, and then I moved to a different platform. And I'm now with Trading 212. If you want to check them out, I will leave a link in the description. By using that link, you will get a free share worth up to £100, and I will also get a free share. This means that my Vanguard portfolio just sort of sits in the background and it does its thing over time, hopefully with the aim of accumulating a nice amount of money by the time I come to retire and maybe I'm looking to withdraw that money. I'm not really interested in touching that money until that point. I'm just going to let it do its thing. Perhaps one day I will decide to transfer that amount of money into a different account so I can have it all together. Right now, I'm not too bothered. I don't even really check this account, so it's going to be a bit of a surprise for me today as well. So I believe I last gave a Vanguard portfolio update back in February, and a lot has happened since then. We're now nearing the end of April. Time has moved so fast. We've had a lot of things going on since that time. So we've had the big banking crisis. We all know about this, we all heard. We saw the collapse of Silicon Valley Bank. That had a real knock-on effect. This made investors that invest into the financial sector specifically quite worried. It made a lot of people quite concerned about the safety of their money. And although this is still a concern for many, including investors, what we have seen recently is we've seen the earning reports come out for quite a number of the big banks, and they've been reporting pretty good earnings. So that means they're in a better position than perhaps some of these smaller banks were. So that gives us some confidence as investors, and of course that has a knock-on effect to the market. And the likes of Goldman Sachs as well, they seem to be doing just fine. We've also had the interest and inflation rate crisis. This just seems to be ongoing really, but recently, especially in the time since my last update, we have seen the interest rates rise. And I'm talking about this in the US market, but also in the UK market. And when interest rates rise, this affects many things. It affects how consumers spend their money. It affects what consumers want to do with their money as well. And when interest rates rise, you can think of this as the saving rates rising too. So this just means that the bank's saving accounts are offering better interest rates. So this then puts the idea in people's minds that perhaps they should save more money. They should focus on saving rather than spending, rather than investing. So again, that seems to have a knock-on effect to the markets as well. Because of course, you're gonna want to put your money where your money is best spent, right? So if you have got a savings rate that is going to pay you, I don't know, 4%, 5%, and you don't feel like the market that year is going to return that percentage, you may decide to do something else with your money. You may decide to put all your money in a bank account rather than actually putting it into the market. Personally, for me, that's not what I'm doing. I do have money in a bank account and it gets decent interest. I've made sure to move that around so I get better interest, but I still want my money to be compounding over time. So I don't really want to be withdrawing any money from the market. Talking about the UK more specifically now, this also is impactful for the US market, but inflation is quite bad in the UK right now. We've had reported inflation rates, and I say reported, over 10%, which is pretty high. So they're going to need to bring this down one way or another. I imagine, the last resort that they're going to use is to increase interest rates in order to bring inflation down. So it would be interesting to see what happens over the next few months with that. And also, we've had the earnings reports come out for many massive companies. I'm talking the mainly US companies, but the likes of Meta, the likes of Visa, Microsoft, Tesla, Pepsi, Amazon is due out today. These are the ones I remember off the top of my head anyway. There's been many, many more. But of course, these are really important because these are the companies that are making up a substantial percentage of some of the really big ETFs. And I'm mentioning this now before I jump into my own portfolio and show you what's been going on, because I have an S&P 500 tracker. I have VUSA, VUSA. And that does have many of these companies in it at quite a large percentage. This does impact the performance as well. One more thing that I want to say before we actually look at my account and see how it's been doing, and I'll probably get a shock as well as you, is when you're looking at the performance of these ETFs, so like VUSA, like VOOC, FTSE 100 trackers, S&P 500 trackers, whatever they may be, you tend to think that they are representative of the market that it's tracking specifically. So if you're looking at the performance of VUSA, you think that that is a direct reflection of how the US economy is doing. Likewise, if you're looking at a FTSE 100 ETF or an index fund, you think that that is showing you how the UK market's doing. And although there are comparisons to be drawn, it's not as straightforward as that, because these ETFs like VUSA have such a diverse range of companies that are such massive companies that they don't rely on revenue just from the US economy. They're not making sales only in the US. They are global companies, right? They are getting profits from all around the world. So you have to look at it with a bigger lens than just that. So just looking at how the FTSE 100 has been doing over the past month, it's been doing all right. It's up by 5.12%. If we just look year to date, we can see that it's up by 3.97%. The FTSE 100 has actually been doing pretty well recently. Like if I expand it out here, you can see, you can't really see. Let's look at the 1 year performance. It's been doing okay is basically what I'm saying. Now, the UK economy, this is just my opinion here, is a little bit slow right now. It's not really doing crazy things. Yeah, FTSE 100 has been doing okay. But like I said, these are global companies like Unilever. That is not a company that is purely representative of the UK economy. The UK economy is a little bit slow compared to other economies worldwide. That's just my opinion, going by the data that I've seen. Of course, draw your own conclusions there. But looking at the S&P as well, over the last 1 month, not so great, up by just under 2%. 6 months, better picture, and year to date, quite a decent picture. Like I said, this is going to be quite affected by some of them big earnings that come out. But yeah, not doing too bad. So now we jump over to my Vanguard portfolio. My complete ISA value is £6,150.96. That is not my entire portfolio, because this is the portfolio I no longer pay into. If you want to see the portfolio that's active for me right now, check out one of my Trading 212 videos or my Invest With Me videos where I show you what I'm investing as I do it. Talking about that, actually, if you want to know exactly the moves I'm making in my own portfolio, consider becoming a patron. You will get access to the Discord and we talk about portfolios, my moves, your moves, just investing in general every single day. It's a good time over there, honestly. Some great people. Complete ISA value. Let's keep me logged in. Thank you very much. Complete ISA value, £6,150.96. From what I remember is pretty similar to what it was before. So we'll check out exactly what's been going on. No surprises in my largest holding. I only have 2 positions in this portfolio. VUSA being the one that makes up the majority. You can see here it makes up about exactly 68.56% of the total ISA, with a value of £4,216.85. I get a lot of questions asking me why I don't have VUSA in my current portfolio on Trading 212 and whether I'm going to add it. The answer to that question is I don't have it because I have such a large representative of it here. I have £4,216 already in VUSA. Now, that might not seem a lot of money to some of you out there, but for me, that is quite a substantial amount of money. I've only been investing since January 2020 or around that time. If I were to add more, that would be my biggest position by far. And right now I'm focusing on some more individual stocks, the likes of Palantir, Tesla. Go and check that portfolio out. I love that portfolio right now. But yeah, I do have exposure. This is helping keeping me diversified. I'm not currently looking to add more, but perhaps in the future I will. Rate of return 2.17% since the account opened, which is pretty naff, honestly. But when you think about when I started investing till now, this starts to make more sense. I started investing January 2020, or just maybe it was just before, the year before, December, November. I can't remember exactly. But anyway, I remember pretty much straight after I started investing, we had an absolute downfall. You know what happened around that time, right? The markets were crashing. I was panicking. I was a new investor. I was losing money. I should have left it in. I should have carried on investing. I did leave it in, but I didn't carry on investing. Long story short here is that I've had quite a rough time in this portfolio. So I'm not really surprised by such a small rate of return. Going over to the investment tab here, you can see the split of what I've got. So VUSA makes up the biggest percentage. You can see that I'm currently actually losing money in this portfolio, but I'll explain why I don't care about that in a minute. The other bit of my portfolio, the other half, 30%, is FTSE Global All Cap Index Fund. The S&P ETF is going to be them big US companies, the biggest 500 or so in the US, the likes of Microsoft, Apple, Tesla, Meta, Visa, Microsoft, I've just said that, MasterCard, you know, all these massive companies that you've definitely heard of. The FTSE Global All Cap, however, that is focusing on 1, global, 2, all cap. So it's focusing on not just the biggest companies by market capitalization, but also the mid and the smaller cap companies as well. So I'm really getting diversification in that. So you can see here that let's just do detailed view on this. At the moment, I'm down by 44.53 on the FTSE Global All Cap and 43.96, pretty similar on the S&P 500, which makes my total return negative 88.49. We'll go over to the performance tab here. You can see some more information about my rate of return, how much I've put in, how much I've got back since let's do since inception. There you go, since inception. And you can see that on a chart here as well. But what I want to show you is this month by month view. Okay, so this breaks down the performance by every single month and any income that I've received, things like that. It tells you everything. So what you can see is so far in April, the beginning of April, my balance was 6,196.37. April is not over yet, but the ending balance so far, 6,150.96. And you can see my cumulative returns, which is the running total since the portfolio opened, but also the return on this month as well. Any fees that I've paid, which are notoriously very cheap, you can see I'm paying like £2.30 every 3 months or so, and any income that I've received as well. So what I want to point out here is that if we just focus on this column, this cumulative returns, most of the time it's positive, it's in the green, and then sometimes it's in the red. This is how it works. If you're a long-term investor, you will experience market downfalls, you will experience periods of time where your portfolio is down, where it's not doing well. And that's the time that you want to knuckle down. You don't want to be selling out. You want to ride those lows so that you can get the highs. It's really important to just stay focused and keep investing during those times when everyone else is panicking. So that's why I'm not very bothered. I'm not bothered if this portfolio doesn't really do much for a while and over time it just slowly accumulates money. That's kind of what I expect from it. It's a very diversified portfolio. I'm not expecting nor looking for those massive growth returns. I'm focusing on growth companies more so in my current ISA account and trading 2-on-2. So this is just keeping me diversified and I'm happy with how this is going. It's not doing anything crazy right now, but you know, over time, I do expect this to grow. So just looking at my cash statement here, there is another thing that's happened since I last done a portfolio update, and that is that I was paid a dividend for VUSA. It came in very late. You can see here, that was not the expected payment date at all. But anyway, I got $15.75 in dividends from VUSA. So what this means now is that I actually, going back to this page here, I actually now have $87.68 on my account in cash. I don't want to leave it in cash. That doesn't make sense. I want to put it to work. Cash is doing nothing for me. So now that I have more than enough to buy another share of VUSA, plus leftover to pay any fees, I will be reinvesting that money back into VUSA, buy one additional share, leave the rest in cash so that I can pay off any fees that come in. And then I'll wait until the next time that I get enough for another share and add it back in that way. Let me know how your portfolio is performing in the month of April so far. And let me know which position is your largest in your portfolio. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this was interesting and I'll see you very shortly in another video.